It's been a while.
You weren't even looking at the screen.
I couldn't at this time. Hey everybody, and welcome to From My Mother's Basement, the show that celebrates being a geek. I'm Jason.
And I am Michael. And let us start off with an apology. Last show we had said that last week there would be a show. And at that point, even though it was Comic-Con, we said that we were going to be doing a show. At that point, we had every intention of doing a show. But then, Monday afternoon, I got an email from a friend of mine at Comic-Con.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, hey, you guys want tickets? So we got tickets to Sunday of Comic-Con. So we ended up going. And we didn't get back in time to do a show. So we apologize for missing the show. But to make up for that, we're going to give you some stuff from Comic-Con. At least most of the stuff that I brought pictures for is from one particular booth. But
True, very true.
A booth where I just drooled heavily for easily 40 minutes.
Yeah, Sideshow was pretty...
Oh, God.
Very,
Sideshow
very
collector.
pretty.
So, anyway, that's why we didn't do a show last week. We were at Comic-Con after all, and it was very last minute. So, we apologize. But we're here now.
Yes, yes,
So,
yes.
what are we talking about this week? Oh, wait. I know. Comic-Con! But before we get to Comic-Con, we're going to make you guys wait on that a little bit. Guardians came out this week.
Oh, yes. Guardians was a hell of a lot of fun.
Yes.
And it made more money than anybody expected it to.
What? Well, they were already expecting it to make bank. What's the numbers looking like?
They were expecting $65 million.
Uh-huh.
On opening night alone, so Thursday night, they made $10.2 million.
Wow, just on pre-screens?
Just on that Thursday night.
Wow.
Last I checked, they were going for they were looking at $96 million.
Wow. Well, it's worth every damn penny. I mean, Nikki and I saw it yesterday morning.
Mm-hmm.
And wow.
Oh yeah. I'm looking at here right now. Yeah, it looks like as of this morning at 7:06 a.m., Disney made the announcement that it made $94 million opening weekend, not including tonight.
Not including Sunday.
Yeah.
So if it made 94 mil in 2.5 days, well, actually that's 48 hours.
Yeah, in 48 hours.
Oh no. Yeah, 48 hours.
Yeah.
Because it'd be Thursday midnight through Saturday midnight.
Yep.
So it's 48 hours. So it made almost 100 mil in 48 hours. And that's just domestic. We have no idea what went on overseas.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to be a moneymaker. It's definitely it's the blockbuster people want it to be.
It destroyed also IMAX records overseas by 3 times the haul of any previous August release. Yeah, this is going to be crazy.
It's a fun movie, though. I mean, it's...
True. I mean, I already saw it twice, so...
I've only seen it once. I haven't seen it twice. But we... Let's give our individual takes on it. Jason, obviously, besides being fun, we know it's fun.
Mm-hmm.
Without getting too spoilery,
I love the campiness of it.
Yes.
The campiness of it was, I think, one of its defining factors in the entire movie.
I think the fact that they were campy yet intelligent and still managed to do the right feelings and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there was a little bit of heartstring tugging.
A bit.
But lately all the Marvel movies have been really dark. I mean, the fall of S.H.I.E.L.D. with the thing with Hydra in Winter Soldier, the stuff that went on in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Marvel has just been going darker and darker and darker.
Which I'm all for.
Which I don't really have a problem with, but you risk alienating a large chunk of your audience if all you do is dark, depressing shit, no matter how cool it is.
It's
and
true.
so they came back with something that's got lots of action, but is still lighthearted. And in my opinion, Rocket and Groot stole the frickin' show, with Drax as a close second.
Drax was hilarious. I definitely enjoyed.
I was surprised at how good Dave Bautista did.
Dave Bautista did an amazing job with it. I remember watching a featurette with him, and he was stating that there were some aspects of the acting that he had a little bit of a problem with. Like, apparently he's never said the words "behold" before.
Really?
So literally, they took like several takes of him just going, "Behold,"
Nothing will go over my head, for my reflexes are too fast, and I would catch it.
There's already a shirt out there. I think it's on T Fury of a comic Drax grabbing a word that says a little sign
Metaphor?
that says metaphor over his head.
Nice.
It's so tempting.
Well, and the way he said it was just like da 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 da. Just his delivery of it is da 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 da, and then it's like brrrr. It's right up there with "I am Groot." It's
Yes. But even when going with Groot, character they instilled so much character into
Groot.
Into Groot. I was half expecting to be more of just a
Comic relief.
Yeah, basically. Even though in the comics he is pretty much a badass when he wants to be.
Oh, he's a well. Key word there is when he wants to be.
Yes.
I mean, even in the comics, Groot was somewhat of a comical character. No puns intended. It's he. I mean, he's not there just for comedic relief. Like you said, he's really badass when he wants to be.
True, it was apparent in several aspects of the movie.
Oh yeah, and I still love the fact that, he just looks at him and says, "I am Groot," and Rocket's like, "What do you mean we need to go save these guys?" Blah blah. It's like he said, a paragraph in in 3 little words, and everybody else is like, "What?"
Yeah, I mean, and I will give credit to Vin Diesel for that. He was able to instill a lot into just 3 words.
And that actually, that takes. I mean, they say voice acting is really hard because they'll have you say, one sentence 15 different ways, and you figure realistically, how many times did Groot actually speak?
Just a handful.
I'd say less than 20,
if that. Yeah.
I want to say less than 10, but it's probably right around there. But he was able to convey the emotion and stuff with it. He just pulled it down, like, he's like a puppy. It's like, here's the ball.
Good times.
So that was great. And then the level of depth that Bautista brought to Drax was surprising.
Now, granted,
I expected to have fun with it, but I didn't expect it to be that good.
I will say,
did not
though,
recognize Nathan Fillion.
I had to look it up after the second time going to see the movie. It was...
I know who he was. I watched the credits.
The big blue alien that...
They got the tree up his nose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's still, after the second time, I was like, really? What was him? I couldn't really place the voice to it.
Well, that's kind of the trick. That's the plan.
Although, having Cosmo show up, that was a treat. Cosmo the dog.
Oh, no. You mean Laika?
Cosmo.
The name of the dog, the dog's actual name is Laika.
Oh, I always went by as Cosmo. It even goes by Cosmo.
Hang on a second. What?
Or am I... Is he mistaken or am I mistaken? We're getting word from the back.
Okay.
The referee is stating in the back. But oh my god, such good fun with it.
Oh, okay.
Did you find out what it was?
So there's apparently background to why Laika was called Cosmo. So there's backstory that I'm not going to remember enough to repeat. So
gotcha. Okay, works for me.
The Easter egg was a giant WTF to me. Don't get me wrong. I knew exactly who it was the second I saw it. The second the vocals came out, I knew exactly what was going on. As far as the character.
Right.
But the whole thing was a giant WTF.
I thought it was brilliant. I thought it was absolutely brilliant for that scene. Just for the sole fact that, given the location of
the collector,
that scene in the collector's collection, basically.
Mm-hmm.
That just makes so much sense. That
okay, that would be there makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
That they chose to use that for the Easter egg. By the way, if you go to see a Marvel movie and you don't sit through the credits, you're an idiot. Any movie made by Marvel Studios, you sit through the credits.
Mm-hmm.
And the credits are not ungodly long either. Which is
no, we're not at all.
Impressive. This movie was no exception. There's an Easter egg at the end of the credits. We kind of went out slightly spoiler by saying it involves the collector's collection. That's where we're going to stop.
Yeah, we'll stop it at that.
But the whole WTF moment about it is all the other Easter eggs in the Marvel Studios movies have referenced future movies. And does this mean they're doing that? Or is this just a, gotcha?
You know, I think it could easily
It would be the first, gotcha.
Okay, I can't can't speculate on it anymore, or else I'll start giving more spoilers on it. But I mean, let's get to some of the other characters. I have to say, though, I was slightly disappointed with Gamora.
I wasn't disappointed with Gamora so much as I was disappointed with Gamora's makeup. Where the eye? I mean, I'm so used to the way she's drawn.
You're talking about the yellow around the eyes and
the not having the patches where the eyes are.
Right.
I had a problem with that. The fact they made her look all bony and crap.
Yeah.
I don't like the character design for that, but I don't dislike it enough to say I don't like the character. I thought Zoe Saldana did really good with what she was handed.
For what she was handed, yes.
But that wasn't the one I expected you to say disappointed you.
Who do you think?
Go ahead.
Oh, I'll go through some of the other characters then real quick. The other main character, Peter Jason Quill, Star-Lord.
Fantastic.
Killed it. Absolutely killed it.
Oh yeah, totally. Although for a kid who was only 8 when he left Earth, he sure had a lot of references down.
He really did.
I mean, okay, I admit I was a nerd at 8. Which we're talking like 1976. Yes, I'm old. And I had a lot of referential stuff down then, but not like some of the stuff he's pulling out of his ass. I mean,
it was still good though. I mean,
oh no, it was good, but it was just like he referenced one or two things that I think were after he left Earth. Which so there's some. I mean, it's nitpicky shit. It is
nitpicky shit,
and it's not enough to upset me because I really enjoyed the character.
Yeah. What about, what was it, Nebula, Karen Gillian's character?
That was my disappointment.
I wanted more of her on screen. I wanted...
not so much more of her on screen. I wanted more of her developed.
She was very,
She was a sexy lamp.
She pretty much was. There was no character development whatsoever with that character.
For those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, I've referenced it before after we went to WonderCon. There's something in comics that was... invented by a writer, Mary Sue Mary Sue DeCormick, came up with something regarding female characters called the sexy lamp test. Whereas the idea is, if you can take out your female character and replace her with a sexy lamp and it doesn't change the story, you're a hack. That's and I'm paraphrasing like a mofo here. That's basically what it was. I mean, there was some the fight scenes were okay. They could have done more. Mm-hmm. The thing, when she comes up to first challenge Gamora, and the thing that was hilarious. I fell out. I was laughing so hard.
That was, yeah.
But the character herself, except for one or two little tidbits, there was zero development on her.
Yeah.
Her makeup was stunning. Her actions and moves. I mean, it's obvious Karen Gillan put a lot of work into how she portrayed the character. Mm-hmm. But they didn't give her shit to work with.
At the same time, though, I could say...
Well, the scleral lenses kind of pissed me off because you couldn't see her behind the eyes. That makes sense.
Yeah. Although, I will say this. For the lack of character development you had for Nebula, there was even less development for Ronan. because they changed. For anybody who's read the comics, they had to change some backstory.
Well, he's disposable now.
Exactly. He used to be a very significant role, and now it's just like, oh, he's a pawn. Wait. Back that shit up.
No, he's not a pawn. He wasn't a pawn. He was the bad guy of the month. But
yeah,
But you're right. There was like minimal character development on him, which that kind of ties in with the whole them not going darker with it, because they're going more comic booky in there. It's a little more. It's less shade of gray.
Mm-hmm.
You know, a lot of the things with the bad guys and whatnot in like Winter Soldier and or Avengers, you know, the thing with Loki, were shades of gray. There was no true white, true black as far as good and evil.
Right.
And this brings it a little more towards the, you know what, we're not going to make the audience think too much, just this is the bad guy. Boom. But they specified he was Kree, showed him full body before he put the thing on.
Yep.
You know they're going to tie that into the TV series.
Of course they're going to have to eventually. I mean, they said before, back when Agents of the S.H.I.E.L.D. was still playing on TV for Season 1, there were interviews saying that, yes, Kree will play a significant role in the future, so this makes sense.
The other thing that kind of upset me is they never said who Jason Quill's father is.
They hinted at
it
twice in the entire film.
They hinted at it, but they never actually.
And how they hinted at it also changed a lot of stuff from the comics, because people knew who his father was.
Well, the comics, you knew out the gate who he was.
Yeah, exactly. It's all of a sudden it's a mysterious figure. I'm like, really? We're gonna go down this path now?
It's not that it's a mysterious. Well, yeah, okay. Conceptually, it's a mysterious figure, but it's was it an ancient race we haven't seen in forever?
Yeah.
Bullshit.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, at that point, you may as well say he's an illegitimate child of Thanos. I don't think so. But although Josh Brolin is Thanos,
I think he's going to do an amazing job.
I think he's fantastic. Yeah. I think that's going to be good.
The only other character that I was kind of miffed at was actually Yondu. Because that character in the comics versus what he was in the movie was a complete 180. Now, that being said, as far as a character reboot goes, it wasn't bad.
Oh, yeah, no. And the actor whose name I can't remember off the top is
Michael Rooker.
Fantastic job. Michael Booker was great for the character it was, although I expected him to look at him and go, boy, you got a pretty mouth. You know, it was that whole group struck. I heard banjos. I swear to God, I heard banjos in the background on the Ravager ship.
Come on, he had that southern twang, so. I will get into one slight spoiler, which is basically a location that they went to, which was the severed head of a Celestial. Nowhere.
Yeah, what was up with that?
That was interesting because that requires a hell of a lot of backstory to explain that that head's existence in our universe.
Well, that, and the only other thing that big that I can think of is Galactus.
Which if memory serves, was a Celestial, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he was referenced in the Fantastic Four movie.
He was referenced
which was
in that one.
Fox. So maybe they are going to find a way to weave this all together, but
because in order to explain how that head came into existence, at least in the comics, it heavily ties into the Age of Ultron storyline.
Yeah.
Which means you also have to introduce another character next Guardians movie, Athena.
Maybe not.
That
they
would have to.
I don't think they find a way to introduce Angela, but
yeah, Angela. Sorry, yeah.
That's what you're referring to now.
Yeah, I had the name wrong. My apologies.
Okay. Well, in the comics, Angela's Asgardian. So yeah, that's a whole other. But the movie was a blast.
It was. It really was a blast. I had a ton of fun with it. I laughed a hell of a lot, and even went to go see it a second time last night. It did not lose any of its energy, enthusiasm, or comedic aspects for me.
I'm willing to see it again in a theater, but not in 3D. 3D was kind of didn't add that much to it. I mean, except in a couple of the scenes, it didn't really. I mean, there were a couple scenes where it was obvious it was 3D, cause like whoever did their compositing didn't make it subtle.
Mm-hmm.
But the rest of the show, you kind of like after a while, you didn't even notice it was in 3D.
Yeah.
Until the ship in the big battle.
Yes.
When they do the net.
Mm-hmm.
First off, anyone else thinking Tholian web? But
all I have to say is
it was a neat concept. That concept was really cool.
The concept was really cool. Last thing I have to say about it before we move on, dance off.
That was funny. But that goes back. That goes back to the whole thing of like he was 8 in 19. Oh wait a minute. He left Earth in 88, correct?
Mm-hmm.
He was 8 at the time. He's Nikki's age. Anyway, because Nikki was born in 1980. Anyway, so my last little bit, 3 words that made the whole thing adorable. Oh, no, Rocket. I'm sorry. Let's get back into Rocket.
Okay.
Rocket's development, I wish they would have gone deeper into it.
They hinted at it a few times.
What they did, I liked. You know, it's
They got off the point of that. Yes, he is a bit of a troubled soul with a really bad past.
Yeah, well, and also how he came to be and whatnot. Mm-hmm. And I really can't wait till he sees a real raccoon. The thing with his fur.
Yeah.
Looking at it from a technical aspect, the fur when he woke up,
mm-hmm.
and it's just like. I was like, okay, the CG department really did their job well on that scene.
Yes, they did.
The 3 words to wrap up my thing on it: dancing baby Groot.
Yes.
Stole the freaking show.
It really did. When Drax in the back, we're going.
Yeah, and he's just like.
Good times. But yes, go see it. I'm sure I'll go see it again. It's an absolute blast.
It's definitely worth your money.
It's definitely a Blu-ray pickup for me. So, but shall we get to Comic-Con news? Shall we?
Oh, let's do it. Well, actually, okay, yes, but I'm gonna throw a curveball at you a little bit.
All right.
Since we're still talking about movies in the Marvel universe, let's move 22 up.
Okay.
Coincidental with Comic-Con, though not at Comic-Con, so there's no way they could possibly be related.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Oh my god. During Comic-Con, a piece of footage got leaked. People have been wanting a movie for this character forever. They've wanted a specific actor to do it forever. Well, something was leaked that, quote-unquote, leaked, and later confirmed that may make it happen. Jason, is the video queued up?
It is.
We'll let you watch. Yes, there actually was... Okay, a Deadpool movie is not confirmed.
No. This is just a test footage.
There was an 8-minute test footage made. That's like 2.5 minutes of it.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see the full thing. And they actually had Ryan Reynolds do the voice and the mocap for it.
Yep.
I want this movie to happen so bad.
Now, what was it? I think it was like a year and a half ago. A script was leaked online for a Deadpool movie, and I downloaded it. I still have a copy of it.
Was that scene in it?
Yes, it was.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
So it's literally those. I'm looking at him going, script was leaked out a year and a half ago. This footage was leaked this year.
In conjunction with Comic-Con.
Yeah,
or coincidentally with Comic-Con.
I'm just like, come on, Fox.
I want this movie to happen
if
so
this
bad.
goes through, Fox, I know you're not listening because you're not watching this, but if you were, for the love of God, make this rated R. For the love of God, make this rated R.
Oh, yes, please make it an R. Don't make it a PG-13.
Because if you throw us a PG-13, you kill so much of the comedy and aspects of what makes Deadpool.
You kill so much that makes Deadpool Deadpool.
Yeah.
But the thing is, there was another movie in the not too distant past that had footage leaked or displayed at or coincidentally with Comic-Con that was just test footage, and we got a movie 2 years later, and that was Tron Legacy.
Yes.
So the precedent is there. Please make this movie.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. You know how it's funny that a lot of people will look at Fox's Marvel movies versus Disney's Marvel movies, or the movies are made actually by Marvel Studios.
Marvel Studios, yeah.
Yeah. And then people will look at the Fox stuff and go, oh, it's all right, but it's not that Marvel Studios level. And it was funny that the head of Fox's movie department actually came out recently and said, I believe that our movies are on par with Marvel Studios, if not better. And I went, no, I'm sorry.
Days of Future Past was good, but it wasn't that good.
Yeah, exactly. And for them basically to come out and say that, they have a lot to prove then, at least to me, with a Deadpool movie. Because
that wasn't Fox's Studios that did that. It was Blur Studios that did that.
Well, Fox would be the one that would be, finance, distribution.
Are you sure?
I believe that's all the news that was coming out. At least when the script came out, said it was Fox.
Okay, because they kind of half included Deadpool in Wolverine Origins.
Mm-hmm.
That's what people are assuming makes it so that
it's Fox. Yeah. Because if that turns around and it becomes actually Marvel Studios doing it, I have no qualms. I'm done.
Oh yeah, if Marvel Studios actually does it, I am so for it.
Yeah.
I am so completely for it. Fox, if Fox is coming forth saying that their movies are on a par or better than bullshit.
Yeah.
The Tobey Maguire Spider-Man 1 and 2, yes, but that was Sony, not Fox.
Mm-hmm.
Those two, in my opinion, were on a par with what Marvel Studios is doing.
Yes. On a side note, though, with the company that made this...
We're not counting number 3, because he went emo.
Yeah, exactly. The studio that made this, Studio Blur, is actually also the one doing the cinematics for the upcoming Halo 2 remake that's part of the Master Chief Pack. And it's damn good. It is really good. Actually, I might be able to find some of that real quick.
Save it for post-show.
Yeah.
Please.
All right, I'll leave that for post-show.
Okay, so enough of Deadpool. Enough of us drooling fanboys over Deadpool. Let's go back to Comic-Con itself.
Yes.
Well, I'll let you give your opinion as to what you like, because I actually brought pictures.
Okay. Oh, I have. Yeah, I put in a few pictures myself. So, overall, I would say the crowds were more of an issue this year than in past years. Mm-hmm. The announcements, like the major announcements that happened in Hall H, overall were not as impressive or as oh dear God, I have to be there in person to go see this as they were in the past.
True, but there was some pretty cool
stuff.
I don't know so much about there were announcements in Hall H as the actual panels themselves. There were some, because I didn't actually go into any of the halls because I'm not masochistic that way. I know the crap's going to end up online, so I'll watch the panels after.
Exactly. I know that I was going to drop off my girlfriend in line to a Friday night so she can go in Hall H on Saturday to see Benedict Cumberbatch for the Lord of the Rings one or the Hobbit one, and then stay for Robert Downey Jr. for the
one that they weren't allowed to ask about Sherlock, but did anyway.
Yeah, exactly. What was surprising to me is that Hall H can hold 6,500 people.
7,000. Yeah.
They have it configured, and of course, a lot of people spend overnight to try to get in line to get in. They tried to use this whole colored badge thing to try to showcase.
Yeah, how'd that work?
Well, to people who got a badge, yeah, they got in, and it was actually kind of nice. At the end of the night, security did a tally, and the rough estimate was there was 14,000 people in line. By the time we got, actually, it's very, very more so than any time in the past. By the time we got there around, I think it was 9 o'clock in the evening Friday night, there was about 10 to 12,000 already in line. So, that's freaking crazy.
all the panels I want to see will be online. That's why I don't even bother facing those crowds.
Although it was funny as hell that on Sunday when I was able to go in, we walked
when
around.
It was Munchkinville?
Yeah, we walked around for a bit, and then all of a sudden, Jess goes, "Oh, hey, there's Sons of Anarchy panel going in Hall H." So we're just walking past. We want to check out the Simpsons stuff outside in front of the Hyatt, and we noticed there was no line. We literally walked into Hall H. No problem whatsoever.
Yeah,
so now I can say I've been in Hall H.
Dominated by.
Yeah.
I was actually kind of surprised that there were as many Sons of Anarchy people there as there were, because it was pretty much dominated by Marvel, DC, and Walking Dead.
Yeah, but then again, it is the last season, so.
That's true.
So they're like all hardcore jumping into it when they can.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I've been in Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones. As far as the booths go in Exhibit Hall, some were impressive. I did like
Some were surprisingly understated.
Yes.
I mean, compared to what these same people had done in the past.
I liked DC's booth was just, hey, it's DC Comic-Con, we went, all out. They had a collection of props and suits from every single Batman to try to help celebrate the 75th anniversary. Mm-hmm. That was really cool. I got pictures of all of that. Mm-hmm. Went over to Marvel's booth, and it was just a giant screen. And pretty much that was it.
It kind of reminded me of Square's E3 booth for those couple of years.
Yeah.
That huge-ass wall of video, and that was the booth, you know?
The only booth that actually I spent probably the most amount of time at was actually Sideshow Collectibles.
Me too. Although Weta keeps stepping it up.
Oh God, their booth was very impressive. With
they had the big dragon head,
the Smog's head
that blinked and looked around. Mm-hmm. That was like, wow. Okay, they're just up in their game every year. I
got a couple of pictures with Smeagol.
Nice.
There's still that there. I do have to say though, there were two things that were going on at Comic-Con that I'm kind of sad I did not want to wait in line for, and those were something going on with Pacific Rim and with X-Men. Both were offering an interactive virtual experience using Oculus Rift. For the Pacific Rim one, you actually were able to quote-unquote pilot a Jaeger.
That sounds cool.
In a fight. And the other one was you become Professor X, sit in a wheelchair. You activate...
Using Cerebro?
Using Cerebro to locate, I think it was Mystique.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
But the lines for those were just ridiculously too long.
The line I wanted to check out, but wasn't about to go standing in, was Legendary's booth. First looks at Warcraft.
Yeah, I'm kind of sad I missed out on that.
I didn't actually... I walked by the booth and I saw some of the props. I'm going, okay, that's from Stormwind. That's from... Oh, crap. Are they actually... Oh, shit. And then I saw the line. It was just like... And I'm like... Son of a bitch. So I did not get in that line. And, of course, I did the obligatory, stop. I had to stop by Funimation, talk to the people I know there. Surprisingly, as I ran into Adam from Funimation, talked to him for a while. Chris from ANN just happened to be there.
Really?
I hadn't seen Chris in a couple of years. He's like, hey, how you doing? We're like, hey, how you doing? So it's like old home week for a little bit there.
Nice.
But yeah, then I eventually meandered my way towards Sideshow, and I didn't leave. But there was actually I did stop by the Square booth.
Oh, okay.
And they had a lot of their various bits and bobs up, and their usual thing of showing off their figures and what's coming up and whatnot in some of their games.
Yeah, I sat down and played a little bit of the Kingdom Hearts HD 2.5.
Yeah, they weren't doing jack for Final Fantasy. Except they were doing something else that kind of shocked me. And the first picture I sent you was one of them. They're doing their take on, their Play Arts division is doing various DC characters, but they're doing a Square version of them. And that's Harley.
Yeah, that one was...
I mean, don't get me wrong, it's cool. I mean, it's obvious. Okay, yeah. They obviously, if you look at the face sculpt, especially, it was obviously sculpted by Square's talent. Because there's a way this Square sculpts heads and faces that you look at and you go, that's a Square character. And they did that here. And I don't know what, I mean, this is a very Square costume, for lack of a better term.
It really is.
I'm not sure what to make of it, other than to say that when it comes out, I will be buying it. because I'm such a big Harley fan. But what the what?
Yeah.
I'm not sure what the hell to make of this.
It's Square. They like to do their own thing. So
that's true. That Square does like to do their own take on things. But there was on my way from there, before I went to my home that was Sideshow, there was the next picture.
Yeah, I had to get pictures of this.
Had to get pictures of that. 2-scale Rocket. The only thing that would have made him better is if it was actual fur. That being said, I can understand why they didn't. Oh, can I understand why they didn't? But this was really cool. It was really well done. It was to scale. It was very cool. I thought it was neat.
It was. It was really well done.
And then I walked it. Hang on a second. I saw some DC Square figures. Yes, they had someone in the chat room was pointing out that at Square's booth at AX, they had some of their figures, Flash, Green Lantern, etc. They are doing a full series. There was a Batman in the box, or in the case with Harley, was a Batman and I think a Flash. I don't remember if there was a Green Lantern or not. But those figures are already out. In fact, George has them in his shop at Hypno.
Oh, okay.
So some of those are already out. The Harley isn't out yet, to the best of my knowledge. If she is, I haven't seen her anywhere, and I've been looking. But once I left there, I went and checked out Rocket, and then I went into Sideshow, and the world lost me for about 40 minutes.
Understandably so.
The thing I didn't get pictures of, and I really wish I had before we move into the Sideshow stuff, Sideshow's releasing a premium format figure scale R2-D2.
Ooh.
So it's like 6 inches tall. It lights up. There's a little table that has a little hologram thing for the Princess Leia. And the head of product development for that figure was the one doing the demo. And one of the things they did that's really neat with it is, you can go ahead and take off of that for a minute.
Yeah.
One of the things they did that was really neat is they, instead, you know how when they make full figures that have little flaps over, they have to put the little thing so you can get your nail under there and open it?
Yeah.
It kind of destroys the illusion of the sculpt, though. So they got smart. What they did is, hey, we've got this little lightsaber prop from when he shoots it out of his head in movie 3. Let's go ahead and stick a magnet in the end of it. And then put reciprocal magnets on the various doors and hatches. The lightsaber is your tool to open the doors. Because they're all magnetized.
I like it.
The way you light it up is there's a little touch sensor on the dome. And you turn it on, and it's got that just does the basic lights. Tap it again, it activates the projector light. That doesn't actually project anything, but it's just.
I was gonna say that would be amazing.
That would be epic if they did, but no, they didn't. And then tap it again to turn it off. The level of detail. I mean, okay, for those of you anyone who doesn't know, Sideshow is notorious / famous for the levels of detail they put into their characters, or into figures rather. To the point where they tried. The guy who was developing for the R2-D2 was telling me they tried to think of everything any fan, even the rabid throat beard, could hit them with, and tried to cover it. So these guys couldn't get. So they right down to the fact that between the movies, between 4, 5, and 6. They are the rivets on his legs, like on the outside of the legs, the little rivets on the side there,
right,
are inconsistent. In movie 1, they're here. In movie 2 and 3, they're here. So it's like, we even addressed that. Pops off the panels, rotates them, puts them back on. So you can be movie accurate to whichever set you're putting him up on.
That's freaking hilarious.
The fact that they went to that level of detail impressed the hell out of me.
Well, all their figures are equally impressive in terms of detail and scale and everything.
Well, yeah, depending on the character, yeah. Because there's one that I provide a picture of that, the level of detail isn't that deep, but it's not that deep a character. But then you walk up and you see the next one.
Yeah.
Wow. If you go around the back, it honestly, it looks like they at extremely high resolution 3D printed the CG model. I'm sure that's what they did for reference, but I'm sure that's not what this actually is. But the level of detail in this Optimus Prime is incredible. And then I saw this.
Even better.
Oh my God. The Dinobot. I mean, the depth of the parts in this thing. Wow.
Well worth the $2,000 this is or something like that.
I think that one's I think that one's over $1,000, but it's not as high as $2,000, but it's expensive.
Yeah.
It's like the cost. It's like the price of the Natiri figure that I wanted. I think it's somewhere around $1,500-$1,800. Let's see what's next.
I do have to say, I'm going to cut in for real quick.
Go for it.
The Sentinel that was next to it.
I was impressed with it.
Yeah.
Because they didn't. It strikes a good balance between the comic Sentinel and what they did in Days of Future Past. It's a good in between there.
It is.
It's really cool. I was impressed with it.
Yeah, I definitely liked it. What was the next one next to that one? That was yes.
Whoever it is can leave a message. Yes, her. Remember what I said about not all the characters that detailed?
Well, again,
in actuality, she's really detailed. I mean, the texture in the bustier, the whole 9 yards, the belly button, you name it. There's only one problem with this figure, and Nikki commented on it, and I agree with it.
What's
the
that?
hooker heels on the platforms. That's the only problem I have with this figure. But I'm a big fan of the White Queen anyway, so. Anyway.
Next?
Yes, so. They are. I was lucky enough to talk to the head of product development for this line. They're in the process of working out, and they had the prototypes on display for what they're calling the Court of the Dead. It appears to be based in a lot of Egyptian mythology, and some other mythologies mixed in. What it is they've come up with all these primary characters, and they're going to be tied into a comic series as well. Here's the kicker: the comic. Well, the figures are obviously being done in-house with in-house talent. The character designs are in-house talent. The comic is being done in-house.
Really?
This entire project, front to back, is owned and operated by Sideshow.
Which is interesting, but then again, it kind of makes sense given the fact of how in-depth Sideshow goes with all of these companies to recreate these characters in such detail.
Exactly, and the fact that they've got something, they're creating their own property that they can just go balls to the wall with.
And they're going to.
The level, I mean, if you show the other pics, I mean, the level of detail like this one. Oh my God, these figures are premium format size. So, for example, she is, if I remember correctly, she's 22 inches tall.
That's gonna be a pretty price tag.
Yeah, I think the price is listed as to be determined.
As most of the figures were.
But she's about the size of Baroness. And Baroness was a $700 figure. So,
yeah,
figure they're gonna not be $1,000, but I forget the names of the characters.
But come on, the detail in these figures, though.
Oh yeah, and the thing is, what's funny is these were all listed as prototypes. The final product could be a hell of a lot different. Odds are they're not going to be that different.
No.
but they can make whatever. They're just waiting on final approvals in house. There's another one. I think she's almost done. He was saying that she's almost near completion as far as approval process.
Right. Yeah, it's just I love the detail in the clothes though.
The detail in the clothes, the detail in the design. They had paintings behind them for the concept art for the characters. So you can see in more detail of what they're going to look like in the comic. He didn't have an ETA as to when to expect release, but they're hoping within the next year.
Okay.
So that's something to keep an eye out for.
There were a couple other things I spotted actually at Sideshow's booth that was impressive, like the Batwing, or whatever they called it in the movie. That was
Did you get a picture of the Bad Touch Godzilla?
This one?
Don't touch me!
This one has...
He's sort of like, if you rotate the angle just a bit, the thing came to my mind. I was like, stranger danger! Show me on the maquette where the bad kaiju touched you.
Yeah, and then again, I could never afford this one. This one's $2,500, so.
But it's beautiful, and that thing's huge. I mean, it's almost 3 feet tall.
Yeah. This one's a little more my price range.
That was impressive.
Yeah.
I was very impressed with the DeLorean on that.
Well, I'm looking at it further detail. You can't see much in this picture though, but staring into it, it looks like all the wiring was actually. It's not just painted, design. It's actual wire. Yeah. That's the incredible part of it.
Yeah, they went with the actual 36 gauge wire.
And
the wire they went with that. Oh my God.
Yeah.
What other pictures do you have?
I just wanted to throw two more in there real quick.
Go for it.
You had the Tony Stark, Iron Man figure. When he's putting together the latest outfit. And this is actually
the gallery of all the various Iron Man outfits.
Right. Yeah. These are all for sale. That's
Did you check out the hologram to the right of it?
I did check out the hologram to the right of it. I didn't get a picture of it.
Figured out how they did it.
Basic tech, yeah. I saw it at TIFFCon years ago. But yeah, it's cool where they're coming out with these. These figures are actually near the point of almost affordability. That they're, I think, only like $50 a pop. Now, granted, if you buy everything, that's going to be
2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18. That's $50 a pop, not counting Tony. That's 90. That's $900 right there.
But given the fact that some of their other figures are like 2 to 3 times that.
Oh yeah, easily.
I did like the Guardians of the Galaxy figures that they're making for it.
Yeah, the Star-Lord with the mask was really
Star-Lord
nice.
with the mask. The Groot was amazing with the
Groot was impressive.
With the second face, yeah.
Yeah.
Good times. I do have to say though, the other picture you sent of what was going on at Kotobukiya's booth.
Oh yeah, or what I affectionately refer to as somebody had the worst job in the world setting this up.
Yeah.
I had to take a picture of it.
I had to take several of the pictures of this thing.
That's just...
Come on.
Wait.
The nerd in you goes, oh my God, that's amazing. The logistics guy in you goes, dear God, what the hell?
Yeah, it's like, oh God, having to glue, because those are glued down.
They have to be glued down.
They have to be glued down. There's easily 300 or more stormtroopers in that little diorama.
Oh yeah.
I just looked at my little geek heart. There was this deep inside my brain. There was this squee.
Oh yeah.
I was just, oh my God, that's awesome.
I did like the fact that they had the Kotobukiya staffer standing there to make overlook it, and
to make sure nobody touched it.
And then while I was there was a stormtrooper standing there overlooking it as well.
Yeah.
Before we get to the cosplay picture, there is one thing that I did do that there is a record of me doing something at Comic-Con. I did go to the BBC America booth. I was hoping to find the TARDIS. There was no TARDIS this year. I was really disappointed by that. But they did have an Orphan Black thing there.
Oh, yes.
Where they sit there and take your picture. Well, yeah. I'm a clone.
That's funny.
It kind of works well. It's a slight smirk,
It doesn't look anything like you, dude. Still, that is pretty funny.
Yeah. And of course, the best / worst thing about it is that every single one of these photos are on bbcamerica.com.
Something you want to tell us about your past, Jason?
Well, this has not always been me. No. All right, let's get to this epic cosplay.
That explains that drunken night in Osaka.
I thought I never go. All right, so you ran into this one hell of an amazing cosplay.
There was some. I mean, as usual, there was a lot of really cool cosplay at Comic-Con. There always is. I saw Adrienne Curry in her Silk Spectre outfit. Mm-hmm. She actually looked really good. And I saw, but as always, you had your really goods and you had your really bads, and then you had your oh my effing gods. This one ran into this girl up top as I was getting ready to leave. I was going to say goodbye to the guy who got me tickets. She did a Battle Sister from Warhammer 40K. She apparently won Best Craftsmanship in the costume contest at Comic-Con. When I walked up, one half of Crab Cat was talking to her, complimenting her costume. Mm. The level of detail in the bodice, the backpack, she was talking about how that's all mostly EVA foam. Mm-hmm. In the backpack portion, she's got a camelback bag, where she routed the tube through those things, and anytime she wants to drink, she just leans her head forward and takes a drink. But she's got ice cold camelback in the pack.
That's brilliant.
All those little cloth bits that are hanging off the shoulders and whatnot, like you can see my finger pointing at the screen. All those little cloth bits are handwritten in Latin.
That's the time-consuming aspect of that.
Yeah, the amount of effort she put into that was incredible. I mean, even if you don't play Warhammer, I have no doubt how she won Best Craftsmanship in the contest, and she was fantastic. I was really happy. I've got her name here somewhere. Hang on. I should have had this ready, but I didn't because I'm a derp. Meh. Unfortunately, I don't have her card with me immediately because I've given it to Nikki for something else.
Okay.
But she was a sweetheart. She really was. I hope to do something half this good in the future. It was incredible. And that was, like I said, all the panels I wanted to see, I watched online. So for me, when I go to Comic-Con, it's all about the exhibit hall. And I still only saw a third of it. I did get to see some webcomic artists that I was wanting to see. So, and of course we went to Scott Campbell's booth and spent way more money than we should have.
I was gonna say, do we want to put a figure on that price tag?
Well, let's put it this. Well, you've been to my house. You know that Scott Campbell is slowly taking over our walls. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 5 prints of his on our walls now.
How many more
and
adding
a couple
to it?
Postcards. There's 2 more normals, the same size as the Black Cat that's in the hall. So there's 2 more 11 by 19s and an 11 by 36. He did it's a triptych. But he did it as one continuous pick. But they were covers for X-Men. It's once I get it, I'll find the pic sometime and show it to you.
I need to come up and see these. Yeah,
it is beautiful.
Very nice.
We also got a piece from the guy who's doing all the original Sin covers, or all the covers for the original Sin storyline. I picked up a Harley Quinn pic he did.
Nice.
That was a variant cover. And I ran into the guy. You've heard me talk about Darth Talon for Star Wars Legacy. I ran into the artist for that show, or for that comic. He had a booth there, and I guess his wife his fiance, somehow they're involved, was also on the team for that. And they're doing another set called Star Wars Dawn of the Jedi. Oh, hang on.
Ooh.
and they tied in. They worked real closely with the authors of the Dawn of the Jedi book series.
Really?
So yeah, I don't know if this counts as canon or not. It's far enough back because this literally covers the dawn of the Jedi. So we're talking thousands of years before the Old Republic, which itself is, 4,000 years before Episode 1. So we go way back in time. But I had him sign it, and he did a little sketch for me.
Oh, even better.
I'm like, I want Darth Talon. He's like, okay. It was great.
That's awesome. That is very awesome.
Did you pick up anything while you were there, or were you just enjoying the show?
I was just enjoying the show. There was a couple of things there that I was very tempted to break the bank on, but I thought against it.
Tell me about it.
I know. Just literally going through everything from the artist alley all the way over to the video game section. There was, I think, a good 25 times I stopped and I had to sit there for like 10 seconds and go, do I have it? Should I get? No, move on. Speaking
of Artist Alley, from the Techno Geek side of things, did you see they had a 24-inch HD Cintiq up?
Mm-hmm.
They had a couple of them.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Did you know they're sub 3,000 now? Yeah.
Why do you tell me these things?
Do you think I'm not wanting to put my butt in hock for one of these things?
Yeah, I know.
Oh my god, they're beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Kopik was there also, so Nikki
Kopik's
got
always
some
there.
stuff she needed.
Oh yeah.
All in all, it was a very good show. There was a lot of neat announcements. There were actually no, I'm sorry. There was a surprising dearth of announcements this year.
What's funny though that you mentioned that is that we spent an entire hour just on talking about our experiences with
which we knew we would.
We knew we would. So I think we're gonna have to hold off on all the announcements until next week because we'll be here for another hour at least if we did.
That's true. Okay, so we're gonna skip 14, 16.
We're gonna skip all of that for that. I think we should probably wrap up with what we've been watching, or in your case, what have you been playing?
Yeah, for me, it's mostly been what I've been playing. But this time, let's let you go first.
Got my girlfriend into Doctor Who, so we're going through everything right now.
Which Doctor are you on?
Now, well, we're in the middle of Tennant right now.
Okay.
We finished season 2, which was the end of the Rose Tyler companion arc, and yeah, I called it. There were feels there, expected. We're in the middle of the Martha Jones arc right now. She seems to be really enjoying it because I'm watching these. I'm like, oh, that was cool. I remember that episode and whatnot. Thinking that's the end. We've gone to like 4 or 5 episodes even today. And I'm like, all right, what else you want to do? Next episode. Okay, then I guess we're watching another episode.
Yeah, you can't easily get sucked into it.
Yeah. Just been watching some anime when I can, enjoying it. It's.
You know what sucks? The first of the Capaldi episodes airs this month.
I know.
Same weekend of JX, which I'm not working.
I'm not working it either.
But I'm going to be working a different show. I'm doing audio for a show.
Womp womp.
Womp womp. So I'm like, God damn it.
Well.
It's not like they're not going to rerun the crap out of it.
Of course they're going to rerun the crap out of it, but that means I can't invite you to join me.
I won't be on the show that weekend anyway.
No, that's not what I'm saying. They're going to air the first, or broadcast the first episode.
In the theaters, yeah,
with an extra 15 minutes of footage.
Oh, God damn it. Yeah, that's kind of depressing, but it's okay. It's okay. I will get to see it. That's what counts. But no spoilers, Jason.
No spoilers. I just love all the stuff that BBC has been releasing, like new images, like teaser trailers and whatnot. Although the best quote I've seen so far is, I've made a lot of mistakes in my time. It's time I start doing something about that. Like, this is going to be a very alien Doctor. Like, he's not going to have the patience for humanity like he has in the past, which I'm like, good.
I don't know about that so much. I mean, I don't know. It's going to be interesting. I want to see where he goes with it. I want to see what gravitas he brings to it.
That and was it? I think it's the end of this month, beginning of next month. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 1 is going out on Blu-ray.
Yeah.
Time to empty out those wallets, kiddies.
Yeah, no, do I want Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. on Blu-ray or do I want to move in 5 months?
Jason,
You
can I
know,
borrow your copy? Yes, okay, fine.
yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. Um, okay, so what else have you been watching?
That's been pretty much it. Just watching some anime when I can. Reading a lot of comics. I actually took advantage of their Marvel Unlimited digital subscription service. So for it's $10 a month, but if you use their code SDCC 14, their first month is only 99 cents, and they extended that offer for another month.
Oh, nice.
Now the caveat being is that the latest issues you can read were released
3 months ago, wasn't it?
6 months ago.
6 months?
6 months ago. However,
there's some really good storylines going right now.
exactly, and so I went back and reread a bunch of the great stories. Obviously, it started with Civil War, went on to Infinity, the Infinity Stones, went through Guardians of the Galaxy, went through some
Tony
X-Men
Stark
stuff.
hitting on, sleeping with Gamora and getting put in his
That was
place.
hilarious. God, it was great. But yeah, I mean, even if you've never had a chance to read these and you don't have the money to go out and actually try to pick up the trades or the issues themselves, I mean, honestly, you can cancel after the first month. So spend $1 and read either online, on a tablet, on your phone if you really wanted to. Practically everything Marvel has released, with the exception of the last 6 months.
Right, there's a 6 month buffer because they really want you to buy the physical.
Exactly. So
Or the current, because you can get current to it.
you
but
can
it's
buy
a
current through
separate
there,
service.
but I don't want to buy digital. If I'm going to
Yeah.
buy comic, I'm going to buy physical. So,
I wanna hold it in my hand.
yeah, exactly. So that's pretty much what I've been doing lately. Once I catch up a little bit on that stuff, I need to go back and start reading more manga. So
Yeah.
I'm so far back.
Oh, that reminds me, something else I found out. There's a company. I may be late to the game on knowing this. The light novels for Sword Art Online and Excel World are being translated and released.
yes, officially released. I'm looking forward to those. I need to read them.
I can't wait.
I'll be honest. I read the first light novels, scanlated or fan translated. Yeah, it's well worth a read. Dear God, it's well worth a read.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, good times. Although I am sad that the light novel author has been going back. Instead of continuing on with the story and the new games and whatnot, he decided to go back and do a reboot of the first visual novel. And I'm like, why? You don't need to.
Okay, so as to are we on to what I'm watching, or are we
What are
still
you
talking?
watching / playing?
It's a case of what I'm playing. A while back in a bundle, I got a game called The Secret World, and I didn't think much of it, because it was included in a bundle. I don't remember which bundle it was, but it was included in a bundle. Finally got around to downloading and playing it because I looked into it a little more. It's basically it's a buy once, play forever, kind of like Guild Wars. The idea of the game world is, what if all of the horror stories, all of the urban legends, all of the monsters were true? You get to be one of 3 factions. The 3 factions are the Illuminati, the Templars, or a group called the Dragon, who are the Chaos Lords. Just because they're Chaos Lords doesn't mean they're evil. They're not. But they're more the let nature take its path. Everything happens for a reason. Types. My main character is Illuminati. I've been having an absolute blast in this game. It's not going to replace WoW, but right now it's the shiny toy. But they do things called issues, and it's how WoW's got Vanilla WoW, Burning Crusade, Lich King for the expansions.
Right. Yeah.
Effectively, their version of that is issues.
Okay.
And the first issue is a place called Solomon Island, which is a sleepy New England town. Or sleepy New England area, which is all the zombie movie. Basically, it's their homage to zombie horror and general horror novels and stuff. There's references like in this first town you go in for the noob zone, you will go down Elm Street, Arkham Boulevard.
I'm serious?
Yes, there's characters that you encounter. That there's one guy who lives in a lighthouse, who's an author, who thinks that the fact that all this hell crap is going on is mana from heaven for his books. Whom I'm pretty sure there's supposed to be Stephen King. There's a lot of little in jokes in this game, but it's a hell of a lot of fun, and it's the only game I've ever played that some of the things because it's not your typical RPG or MMORPG in the sense that, yeah, there's that aspect to it. They don't have formal levels, so you can literally be whatever you want to be. You just pick and I mean they have templates that you can follow if you want,
right?
But you don't have to.
Okay.
And so there's no formal levels, although there's a level of rank within your group.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like if you're Illuminati, like my character's a rank 5 Illuminati, but that doesn't mean jack as far as what her powers are.
Gotcha.
Or what she does. And there's damn it, I lost my train of thought. Sorry, give me a second. Oh, there's puzzles in there that you have to solve.
Okay.
And this is the only game I have ever played that included a browser in the game so that you could do research outside of the game to solve some of these puzzles.
That's actually very helpful.
Well, you know, and that's one of the reasons I was telling you, you, Mr. I Love Everything ARG, need to play this game.
Okay, I know. Because,
for example, there's a quest chain where I had to go translate Latin. And found out that they misspelled their Latin really bad. But there's a lot of bad Latin spellings in their stuff. But you get the gist of what they're saying, so you can then go research it and figure it out. There's a lot of stuff like that where you have to go out of the game to solve stuff in the game. So they've even created little one-off websites or another example, there's a quest chain you do where you're trying to track this one guy and the stuff that he's been doing, which is part of why I had to do the Latin translation stuff, to be able to translate his Latin, to be able to spell out the stuff he says in Latin in these glyphs. But at the end of it, it leads to a YouTube link or references a YouTube user. You look up that YouTube user, there's only one video for that YouTube user, but it's the culmination of this quest.
That's a very unique way of actually handling these. Wow, actually, yeah.
I mean, it's ARG all over the place. And that's just in the first issue. Among the issues this one's there's Solomon Island. There's something called the Venetian Agenda.
Okay.
Their issue 7 is their spy James Bond issue. There's a couple others there's one that's like Raiders of the Lost Ark Egyptian type. I think that's issue 3.
Okay.
Their latest issue 9, is what they call the Black Signal, which takes place in Tokyo. I'm nowhere near able to go there yet. I have to go through all the other stuff before it.
Okay.
But I bought the bundle I got it in included all of that. When you normally buy the game, it includes the first 4 issues.
Okay.
And then to get the other issues, you have to upgrade. You have to upgrade what you've bought. Makes sense. It's like you got to buy the expansions. But you don't pay a subscription fee or anything for it. I mean, you got to get in this game.
I know. I mean,
if anybody gets in the game and wants to chat with me or BS with me, I'm on the Arcadia server. Hit me up on Facebook, though it'll take me a week to get back to you because I don't check Facebook as often as I used to. But hit me up on Facebook or whatever, and I'll tell you which character I'm running mainly.
Okay.
But dude, you got to get in there.
It's a hell of
a lot of fun. And I'm still playing WoW because I found out I am allowed to talk about it, sort of. I'm in the beta for Draenor. Dude.
Is it true that one of the dungeons is actually on a moving train?
I haven't gotten to that point, but yes, it's true.
That's crazy.
I haven't gotten high enough to do that one yet, but
gotcha.
Yes, it is true.
Okay, that is very cool. Yeah, you're gonna pull me back in. I thought it was out there. Pull me back in. No.
Dude, you lie like a rug.
I'm going to get in money and whatnot. And yeah.
Because we're being recorded, I am not going to comment.
Yeah. All right. And on that note.
And on that note, we're going to end the show now.
All right, everybody. Thank you so much for hanging out. Next week, we'll talk about all the news that came out of Comic-Con this year, as well as the latest information.
And any new stuff that comes out between now and then.
This is very true. So stay tuned for post-show. Thank you so much for watching for My Mother's Basement. I'm Jason.
And I am Michael.
We'll see you guys next week. Take it easy, everybody.
Bye, guys.